So I'm changing the valve, the exhaust valve on this engine. Boy, I really gnarled my threads up. Well, so I'm building a valve here. Here is the core of that. That is 1/4 of an inch, so 6 millimeters roughly. Shaft, stainless, and I welded a little piece of stainless on here. I put this on the lathe and cut it, but then I also put it on a drill and hand finished it, and also seated it. I can't find my valve grit, but I could find some polishing compound, and so rubbing compound, and so I used it on here. I just put rubbing compound in here, hooked the drill to this. This is why my threads are messed up. I'll have to run a tap over these. Anyway, this is tight. This is airtight. I can come blowing that in it. I mean, it holds. Actually, it holds. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my valve. Yeah. This is just a little extension. This is a 1/8 inch copper or 1/8 inch brass pipe. Just a bit of an extension to hold this a little bit more in place. I was having troubles with this thing moving around, and I may still, if it moves around too much, okay, like if you can see what I'm doing, where I'm moving it a little bit to left and to the right, it doesn't catch well, but I think I've got that figured out. I think I've basically tapered the valve like a valve, and that's why valves are tapered that way, so that they'll seat properly. I think I've got that right. If not, I've got some ideas I can make that work. But this is a lot larger of a valve. This is the valve that was in there. This is the size of it, and this is just the piece that was here. And in fact, yeah, so this was the original valve right here. Now this is a little Teflon seal. And it worked okay. Problem is that this is rusty. This is just steel. I just wanted to just see how it would work. So just prototyping. So that was steel, and it was rusting pretty badly. And of course it's going to, it's steam. So, and not only that, but I was having a rough time with the Teflon getting a good seal, actually. And I think that at the end of the day, using a piece of stainless against brass for this steam is going to make a lot better sense if I just welded this piece on here, just cut both pieces out. This is a piece of probably 3 millimeter stainless. The same stuff that I'm making these pieces with. So, and I will have to make a much larger exhaust port to make it work properly. And so I'm going to make another. This is a head. Right? But I don't want to cut this one. I've got another one lying around here somewhere that I'll use. But I'll put a larger exhaust port in it. But I think my intake port's plenty big for the size of this engine. I have adjustment everywhere because I'm finding that that's really what I need, is the ability to adjust this. So I can dump the contents of this cylinder really quickly using this big exhaust valve. That's the whole point behind it. So, on top of the adjustment that I have built in to this system here, I have also, my engine's kind of high. You notice that I've got this arc of circles here. That's my timing, so that I can adjust when this lobe is at what position in relation to the cylinder. I have got this running really nicely now, finally. It's running on less than 5 pounds of air right now. And I don't have much battery left, of course. But that's okay. It's really doing well. Let me just show you what we've got going on here. This is my intake. You can see it's hitting tiny bit. And this is my exhaust. And my exhaust, even though it looks like it's not doing much, it's actually opening up quite a bit. If I want to open it up more, I can do that. You see, I've got a ratio here by moving my little fulcrum up and down. I can add or decrease the duration of this effect. Right now, it's pretty nice. This thing has got a lot of power too. I was impressed. For the first time, when I had it operating on like over 10 pounds of pressure, it's hard to stop that flywheel. Incredibly, it's got a lot of power. Like it's operating properly. Let's see here. Let me see if I can stop it. Okay, so I can stop it. Also, what I did here is this hole is the center of this. If I were to put this bolt in this center, this piece would just be the same as the flywheel. So this off center gives me my cam action. This hole was the original hole that I was using, and I had a lot more play in my cam. Right now I've got my play down, or my movement in my cam is down to about 1/2 inch. So quite a little bit less than I had. I had almost 1 inch of play, but I really didn't need that. As you can see, I still have plenty of adjustment. Well, I've got all these holes here. I tried all these different holes, and all of them worked to some degree or another, but this was the best hole. And you can see the hole that I've got it on right here is damn near, it's not even 1/16 of an inch cover here. But what I did was I moved my timing right to here, so I advanced it up to this point, or retarded it, maybe that would be to this point, so that when this piston is now, it's on top dead center, both valves are closed. So that valve is closed, there's air in between there, see that, you can see that. When that touches, there's where this valve opens. So it's opening exactly where it needs to open. And it's staying open till about, well, I'll just show you. Okay, about right there. So it's staying open about 90 degrees worth, quite a bit. Actually, for steam, I think I'll shut this valve down even more, and I think I'll be okay. But I'll be able to do that. I think I'll be okay. I may have to play with the timing a little bit, but if I do, I will. Anyway, so then when this comes around from here, this valve closes. This valve closes up here somewhere, right? Okay, now we get down to bottom dead center, and at bottom dead center, right on bottom dead center, that valve starts to open. Because there we are on bottom dead center, and then as I continue this around, you can see that it opens the valve. Not a lot, but doesn't have to, but it stays open till we get right there. So it stays open 180 degrees. It's beautiful that I got it, that I've got it working as efficiently, and that it is actually efficient. It hasn't been this efficient, so now I can just adjust my my throttle. I guess this is my throttle right now. You can see that it's barely registering any air, but it's running under 5 pounds of pressure right now, and it has. Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, I do have some little issues in my valves, so I'm getting a little bit of erratic behavior, but not too much. So that is extremely good. That is really good. I'll run it one more time, and yeah, go through this. Anyway, I'll show you what we'll do a little bit more pressure in it. Okay, So this is running on about 25 pounds of pressure right now. And it's got a lot of power. It's got a hell of a lot of power. I would not want to get my hand stuck down in there right now. And it's still running on a very conservative amount of volume. Very little volume. So you can kind of see what's going on here. I just shut my throttle down. Anyway, yeah, so that's actually running quite well. The valves are working good. They're actually working pretty well. I had a bit of a leak up here, so I went ahead and RTV'd around this area. Welding that in, it was a little bit tricky. Yeah, we're working pretty good. So, okay, now I oiled it up before I ran it quicker because I dried everything off quite a bit. I do have a brass bushing on this, which I would actually like to have a roller bearing in here. I wouldn't mind having that. This isn't balanced, but I'm not worried about that right now. I can do that later. I like what I've got going on here. I think that the exhaust valve is plenty large for what I need, but I still need to run this on steam. But I've got to get back to work, so I'm gonna have to quit working on this. But I thought I'd just go ahead and do a quick update where this stands with this gigantic valve in the back, this exhaust valve. That's really made a huge difference. That and getting the timing like damn near spot on, at least spot on for you know it looks great, but steam is going to be a little different. Steam will definitely. Will definitely be different, but I think we're in the right area because this is set up more for steam than it would have been, than it was otherwise, especially having that extremely large exhaust valve. Considering this is a single action engine and that the steam is still under pressure, even when this piston is down at bottom dead center, that steam is still expanding. That's why I need a big valve to dump that steam out, because I can get as much efficiency as I'm gonna get out of this little engine if I can get rid, once this goes to bottom dead center, if I can get rid of that compression completely all the way through, the compression stroke. That would be the compression stroke on a gas engine. But now it be going to top dead center, this closes. I don't have the back pressure that I had in here before, because that's, I think, was my big problem. I would come down here, and as the cylinder, or as the piston was pushing back up, it was pushing against, it was actually building compression, which it shouldn't have been doing. So this should solve that issue. And I think that it's probably, considering how, the amount of air pressure that it's operating on at this speed, and the torque that this thing has got with just compressed air. Yeah, working pretty good. So, all right. With that, I'm probably going to make a video and get an update going. So, thanks for watching. Bye.